About being an official, which is nice. Nice to have a couple of chats with him about the way things are going. And the way things are going is the whistle goes and the Warriors start proceedings. Headed back inside there from Ridwan.
I quite like that tactic of playing the long ball early on when you kick off. Puts you on the front foot right from the beginning. They're playing the opening exchanges in their opponent's half, and that's where you want to be. Warriors nice and positive to start off with.
And there's Ridwan managing to get round the back, but goes out of play for a goal kick. Of course, Ridwan, who spent a lot of his career overseas, didn't he? Had 5 years in Indonesia with Arema, and of course Putra Samarinda.
I think Ridwan chased that ball thinking that he'd taken a deflection there and was going to be a corner kick, because he could have got to it actually.
It's always the way when you do that, isn't it? The officials normally give it the other way. Here's Fukuda, who's playing in more of a centre midfield role today. He's pushed just a little bit further forwards to accommodate Bayaki into the back line. Zulfadli. That was a poor pass from him, and a chance here now for Balestier. Good tracking back from Emerick Ong.
And good work from Fukuda as well, who obviously is going to always have an eye to the defensive responsibilities. I think Balestier are going to have to play on the break. I suspect that Warriors will have the lion's share of possession and probably will do more of the attacking. So for Balestier, being able to get back from back to front quickly, the transition as they call it these days, very important.
Here's Jordan Webb. Nice ball played forwards into the path there of Ridwan. Emerick Ong delivers, and it's a little snatch header more than anything from Jordan Webb. Just attacked the ball, trying to catch out Zaiful Nizam in goal.
It was a bit over-ambitious, that a header from that range, particularly as the ball was on its way through to Chibamba, who looked really disappointed not to get it.
Bayaki. Jordan Webb just couldn't get that under control. Solid header from Shakir.
We've got only 4 players forward for Balestier.
That's just overcooked. No way Hazwan could get on the end of that one. Emerick Ong. Good touch there from Chibamba, however, not the best pass back. Well intercepted and well read there. Ryan. Good play there from Tajeli, winning the free kick.
Yeah, I think when I've seen him play before, he's a very enthusiastic, very mobile, hard-working player. Really converted from a defender or defensive midfielder, so he's still learning the game up front.
Chance here to cause an issue or a problem or two. 6 yellow shirts in the box tells you that they're going to have a go. Zaiful Nizam focusing his concentration. Back, he's got hold of the shirt there. We can see that from here, and the referee's having none of that. Now, he needs to be careful, because the referee does see that pull of the shirt. Quite clearly, he could give Bayaki a yellow card and award a penalty, even though the ball's not in play. There, look, that's not even sneaky. We'll come back to that in a minute, Jamie, because that could be a talking point a bit later on. What's the quality like here? Drilled into the near post, little nick on. Held back on as well, that's offside. Yeah, quite clearly. You could just see there. The flag went up straight away. Fadli Khamis it was that was in an offside position.
I think what's interesting there is that it wasn't an obvious free kick to take. They didn't just lump it in the middle for a big man to chase for. They're outgunned for height, so it went an interesting route. Not a bad effort.
Chance here, Jordan Webb bearing down on goal, pulls it back far too far though. Hazwan has time and space to pick that up and come forwards. Looking for support, he's still on the ball. That's well played. Hazwan couldn't get in behind. Well done from Emmerich Ong. That's pretty cool. Hyrule Nizam showing he's got a little bit about him, but then playing a hospital ball to Zulfadli. Just anywhere will do. Right hand picks up the loose one. A little flick from Hanafi. And given back to Tijeli. How many times have we seen that, Jamie? Tijeli in a position like that, he just can't find that finishing touch. You feel sorry for the lad on occasions, don't you?
Yeah, you do indeed. And the first thing to admire, though, is what a lovely 1-2-3 situation. And then, really, that's a back pass to the goalkeeper. He knows he's got to do better.
Sherrill gets upended in the end, much to the dismay down on the touchline there, Marko Kraljevic.
I think Marko will be pretty pleased with the way his team started. They've been quite enterprising.
Nice little layoff there is Jordan Webb again, trying to get in behind. Anywhere will do. Safety first from Fadli Khamis. Decent ball in, free header for Shaolishak. Just got caught under the ball. That was a real chance there. Danger not clear yet though. Mid-run with the layoff, looking for the little give and go with Emmerich Ong. Here's Fukuda. You can hear they're looking for a 2v1. Jordan Webb just plays it back. Fukuda again. Is it a surprise that they've pushed Fukuda further forwards into the middle of the park, or is that where the defensive problems have come? Shibamba with the ball back inside. Shaolishak just couldn't get there. Shibamba. Time and space. Firdos helps it through. Shaolishak's in here. Well, he took an extra touch. Shaolishak finds Jordan Webb. Webb with a cross. Shibamba! But Bamba makes absolutely no mistake at all with what is a solid header in the 9th minute. A cool, calm finish from him.
Well, we're actually sitting exactly in line with him there. And as the ball came over, you're thinking, you've got to knock it down, you've got to knock it back the direction it came from, you've got to hit the corner of the goal. And he gets it absolutely spot on, flexes the neck muscles, gets everything behind it, and it's a great finish from the big man, who really, to be honest, is bailing out Shaolishak there, because Shahril should have done much, much better with the earlier opportunity when he took a touch that took him wide of the goal. But a great finish from the big fella.
No mistakes whatsoever with that, and you can see they like that on the bench. Azifan really happy that that one hit the back of the net. Will that mean the floodgates open? Shaolishak just offside. There can't have been much in that, Jamie, and that would have been a double hammer blow so early on.
Well, teams are often vulnerable just after they've scored and just after they've conceded, and that would have been a disaster for Balestier. We'll have a look at this one again. Oh my word, I think he's just got it right. But it was very close. Keeping a fairly high line there, a lot of space in behind the defence.
Chance again here, Webb's in. Ball just wouldn't sit down for him. Balestier fortuitous once more.
Well, at the moment, defensively, they're all over the place, Balestier. And to be frank, Jordan Webb should have done a lot better with that opportunity. Just scuffed his shot in the end. In the space of a couple of minutes, they could have had 3 goals, Warriors.
Here's the man who's just got his 4th of the season, Sabamba. Easily defended in the end from Ashrel.
Always great news for your big number 9. Get a goal early on. Settles everything down. You feel, well, OK, whatever happens from now on in, I've done the most important thing in my job. I've scored. Takes such a lot of pressure off when you're playing up front, Paul. Takes such a lot of pressure off once you've got a goal under your belt.
Forget about all the running around and the hard work to contribute to the team.
Got a goal? Ask Michael Owen.
Shaolishak to deliver. Bayaki! It's hit the woodwork. And it looks as though Zaiful Nizam just got a touch to it.
Yeah, he did. I think it was going over anyway, but we flagged up by Haki as being a threat from corners. Who's going to mark him? You look at that, it's Tajeli's marking him, and he's giving away, what, 3-4 inches in height?
He's a big lad, Bayaki. A little word with him before the game. Really looking forward to getting back into the action, of course, back in the starting lineup today. So Shaolishak from the other side. It's a little bit too deep. Shibamba gets there. Shibamba does well. It's a poor ball into the box, though. However, hangs it up at the far post. Webb with the header. Bayaki's going to get there. Tries to hook it back in for Shaolishak, who just couldn't keep it in play.
Well, having complimented Shaolishak before we went on air about his touch on the ball, I'm afraid in the last couple of times he's got the ball, he's not acquitted himself so well. Clearly, corners are going to be a problem for Balestier. We mentioned that Zaiful Nizam in goal isn't the biggest, and it's very difficult to see who's going to pick up the big men.
Offside, flag's gone up. Hanafi went just a fraction early.
But it's another good decision. I think as far as Warriors are concerned, one of the urgent things is to get a clean sheet this evening. You've got to start being defensively solid. So they'd like to knock in more goals, but keeping that 0 against Balestier would be a big plus for them.
As you mentioned about confidence with strikers, yes, I've done my job scoring a goal. It only takes a second for a striker to do that, but it takes a defence 90 minutes to work their socks off to keep the ball out. It's intriguing, Jamie, how fortunes differ within a team. Those strikers are just glory hunters. We'll debate that one at half-time.
Paul and I never agree on these topics.
We'll debate that long into the night, Jamie. Don't worry about that. That's gone against the Warriors, much to the bemusement of Webb. Much to the bemusement as well of Shibamba. Fukuda, did he have a little trip up off the ball there, or was it just a collision of coming together? I just thought it was a collision coming together. I caught it out the corner of my eye. Didn't look like it was a stuck out leg or anything, but Ong Kyun Yang felt that he was tripped up. take on Tajeli. Good strong challenge there from Shakir. Shibamba seems to have switched places with Jordan Webb at the moment. It's a solid header from Hazwan. Bodies strewn all over the place at the moment.
It's this next one that was deemed to be the foul. And Jordan Webb's saying, look, I didn't do anything, but the referee's arguing that he made a back for the man to jump on, and I think the referee got that one just about right. I must admit, I'm impressed with Chibamba's work rate so far, Paul. He's been super mobile, got his goal, which I've complimented him for, but he's worked very hard. Good use of the chest, bringing the ball back down. Not always the greatest on the ground, but he's doing quite well at present.
Actually said that he joined the Warriors because he believed and felt that they were in line for silverware. He was fed up with playing at teams that weren't going to win things, so he's clearly come here with a statement of intent. Can he back it up? Can he help the Warriors be successful this year? Remains to be seen.
Well, he's certainly a much travelled footballer. I've got a list of about 9 different countries that he's plied his trade in, many of them in Europe.
11. There you go, Jamie.
I ran out of ink. I couldn't write them all down, Paul.
11 clubs, and the 28-year-old was born in Zaire, but he has Dutch citizenship. As you said, much travelled. Nasrul fires that one forwards easy for Bayaki. Chamalishak has a little look to see what's around him. Fukuda's made a run, as has Shibamba. Shibamba tries to hang it up, easily dealt with by Ashrul.
Well, that was a much better touch from Charalishak. Lovely ball passed through for Chibamba, who was trying to flip the ball up for Fukuda, who made a very good run. Great timing there. And look at Fukuda, he's tacked the near post, he's gone one run to the far post, and he's checked and come to the near post. If that one clears the defender, should be a goal.
Well, you know what they say about strikers, one for you, that's the defender, one for me. Unselfish running with those little 2-yard bursts. Not the best ball into the box. Balestier looking to come away with it now. No one back by Ridwan. Keeps it simple. Jordan Webb. Charalishak keeps it simple.
Looking good for the Warriors at the moment. They're moving the ball around very nicely now, looking very confident in themselves.
Decent ball in. Headed away there from Shahiro. Emre Gong. Ridwan steps over the ball. Jordan Webb. Charalishak gets caught from behind. Ball played into the channel. Tajeli makes the run and goes for goal. Well, doesn't have many other options. Hanafi was there coming up in support, as was Hazwan, but they were behind him, and he was the furthest forward.
He's just about got his timing of the run right there, and full marks for ambition, trying to shot from that distance. But as you argue quite rightly, there was precious little else on. Could he have checked back and waited for support? Well, we'll never know.
Saiful Nizam just taking his time. Gets his foot through the ball, looking for Tajeli. Bayaki will get there. Just heads it away to Zulfadli. And launches one in the air, and that's going to come down with snow on it.
Well, it was an uncertain situation, and Bayhaki dealt with it, headed the ball away. If in doubt, get the ball away from the goal.
Is that a handball? It looked as though it could have been. Well, is that the Warriors getting out of jail? I'll have to have a little look at that again in a few minutes' time. As it is, though, Ridwan coming forwards. Emery Kong. Tried to find Ridwan, who tried to let it go, but just couldn't make it happen. Bayhaki picks it up. Shak. Emery Kong in an advanced position. Nice ball back inside. Ridwan this time. It's his turn to give the ball away. Oh, the ball's gone out, so maybe we can have a little look at that penalty incident, Jamie. Was it, wasn't it? Let's have a look.
It's awfully close range, isn't it? It's hit the arm, no question at all. I think most referees suggest when it's that close, he can't get his hand out the way. The hands have got to be somewhere.
So if that's in front of goal, 6 yards out, is it a penalty?
If he's hit it from that shorter range, then it's not a penalty.
No. If he's in front of goal and it's 6 yards out, and he makes that strike and it hits the arm 6 yards out, is that a penalty? Because the ball's going into the back of the net.
No, for me, no. Because if it's accidentally hit the arm, it's not deliberate handball. It's not a penalty kick. Of course, if I was the striker, it would all appear very different.
You always have your little spin, don't you, Jamie? That's what the game's about, opinions. It's always interesting when you talk to the fans, the coaches. And, well, that one nearly making its way out of the ground from Abdul Hadi. Kuda plays it out wide to Webb. Here's Webb again.
Warriors haven't enjoyed the same sort of success down the left-hand side as they have on the right so far. That all looked very laboured.
It's almost like they've gone 1-0 up and are saying, well, we'll settle for that. Got to defend here, though. That's a lovely play with Hanafi. No surprise that he's in the thick of it. We mentioned him at the start with the team lineups and how highly Marko Kraljevic thinks about him. They've got to defend here, though, and he'll have to trap back in and defend as well. Shawalishak just keeps it simple. Firdos. Jordan Webb. Firdos. Shawalishak could get there. Oh, Zaiful Nizam was positive on that occasion. Came and collected it. Here's Webb again. Everybody's backed off him. Webb! Wasn't a million miles away. Looked to try and pick out that top corner and had Zaiful Nizam scrambling across his goal.
Well, he seemed to be taking the shot on simply because there was nothing else available. But in the end, he digs the ball out very nicely. Always fading a little bit. Let's have a look from this angle. Zaiful Nizam would say he had it covered. Inside the post, it's mine.
Webb, of course, has been here for 7 years. Started at Hougang. The likes of Home United, Young Lions and Tampines have all signed him. According to reports, he'd love to be naturalised, and he made that intention known a couple of years ago. However, never really kicked on with his career, the 29-year-old now. Interesting to see if he can force his way into the national squad. Of course, the game coming up soon against Argentina at the National Stadium. If you haven't got your tickets yet, make sure that you do. Get yourself down there. Come and watch, well, one of the best teams in the world, Argentina, as they come knocking on the door in Singapore. What a night that should be. Thoroughly entertaining for all concerned. I can tell you, Jamie, I'm going to be there. 13th of June, a Tuesday, so make sure you get your tickets. Savamba. Emmerich Ong. Keeps it simple in the end, Firdos. Here's Ong again. Firdos delivers. Fukuda finds Webb. So Fadley had gone in there as well, just closed all the space off. However, he does get the ball now. And the tireless work of Tajeli coming to the fore once more.
Game very much settled into a rhythm now. Warriors, huge amount of possession, but not at the moment getting behind the defence, trying to play through the defence. It's not really working. And Balestier, when they get the ball, trying to break quickly.
Shaolishak with the little flick on there. Rahan just feeds it out wide, so a little bit of time and space now. Kyonyang, nowhere for him to go. Better from the Warriors then. You've got to turn around and say. The shape looks a little bit more compact today than we've seen so far this season. They've conceded, as mentioned, Jamie mentioned it earlier, 16 goals so far. And when you consider that they've scored 17, that's really not good enough. As if losing out, Fukuda can come forwards. He finds Webb. Just almost ran round in a big circle there, then Jordan Webb. Warriors going nowhere fast. Emmerich Ong, Webb. Challenge from behind, not rewarded with a free kick there, Ridwan.
Ref had a long, hard look at that one. I think he made up his mind that on balance it was okay. It was definitely one of those marginal decisions.
Shakir should be absolutely delightful for him, and Bayaki, who's attacking this ball now, shouldn't have too many problems in the air today. It's not been disrespectful to Tajeli, but he's not got that physical presence as other strikers do. There again is Shakir clearing his lines. Taken quickly out wide as well. On Kyoyo, looking to get the cross in. Oh, that's good defending from Zulfadli. Just have a little look at that free kick there again. Pretty much nailed on right in front of the referee. Balestier nearly made the Warriors pay for it, though. They took it quickly and tried to get in behind. However, they got themselves sorted in the end. Here's Ridwan. Big nudge in the back against him. No free kick awarded. Gong just picks up the loose ball, keeps it simple for Kuda. Savamba, Shawalishak for Kuda. Savamba strikes across the ball and away from goal. Saiful Nizam not tested on that occasion.
I think he's a little bit frustrated, the big fella. He's done a lot of work up front and players haven't found him so far. So when he gets a little bit of space here, got enough room to take the shot on, but really should be hitting the target.
Signed from Slovenian club Koper, who played in Greece at AIL, actually played for Lech Poznan and Arka Gdynia in Poland. Also had a spell in China with Henan Jianye. So, as Jamie mentioned a little bit earlier, much travelled. Here's the striker. Here's Shawalishak. Cheryl finds Sabamba. Another corner. It's corner number 4 to the Warriors so far. Balestier yet to force a corner themselves.
Yeah, the nearest they came was that free kick in a wide position. I'd look for the big men here. I wouldn't make it too complicated from Shawalishak. Get it up there for the big men to challenge for.
Okay, Tajeli heads it clear. Here is Bayaki. Does well to retain possession. Oh, Balestier applying pressure there and almost winning it back, and in the end they do, and there could be a chance here. If it's played over the top, Tajeli's onside and he's got pace. Should have gone earlier. He's offside, right in front and right in line with us, and that's criminal, Jamie, because as soon as they won it, if they'd have turned that Warriors defence, they really would have had a go and put Hairul Nizam under pressure.
And Tajeli may well have the pace to run through from the halfway line there, but not quick enough in thought and deed.
Bayaki. Emre-Kong. Emre-Kong is one of those young kids that actually started off at the Eagles Little League soccer camps. I remember interacting with him many years ago, Jamie. Emre, a lovely young lad, and really showed talent and ability at the young age and has come through the ranks now. Great to see youngsters still involved in the game that I knew when they were youngsters. I'm going back a good 10-12 years. As Shawalishak feeds it through for Ridwan, just a little bit too far for him. Well collected by Saiful Nizam.
Quite like the intention there, though, looking for the killer pass.
Tajeli's in here, but again just strays into an offside position. If he checked his run half a yard there, that was the equaliser. He wasn't a million miles away, and that was another close decision and another close call.
Yeah, I think the decision's right. Look, he's clearly gone. He's at least a yard behind his man. But looking along the line there, if he's level, I think he's got the legs on the defence there, and he can run away from them. Surprised he didn't get a yellow card for actually knocking the ball into the net there. There's a lot of referees would deem that a yellow card offence.
Sabamba, not a bad touch from him. Shawalishak upended, no free kick awarded. Sabamba. They are trying to play a high line, the Warriors. Be interested to see the stats of this game, particularly how many times Hairul Nizam has been involved in the action. Jelly just trying to flick it round Shakir, but couldn't. Well read from Fukuda. Here's Ridwan. Shawalishak, now the blue shirt. It's a 4-on-2 if used correctly. Fukuda. Sabamba. Sabamba hangs it up. Well read there from Shahiro.
That's a wasted opportunity, isn't it?
Totally, but the danger's not clear yet, though, for Balestier. Has that gone behind? No. It's gone comfortably into the hands of Zaiful Nizam, Jamie.
You quite rightly pointed out they had 4 attacking players against 2 defenders, and I thought it started with Fukuda's pass, which wasn't the greatest.
Nazwan. Ball not gone out of play. The full ball must cross the line. Bayaki. Sabamba. It's his goal that separates the two sides, scored in just the 9th minute, his 4th of the season. Tries to feed it back into Webb, couldn't find him. Webb on the ball now, though. Fukuda. Well, they've tried to play the offside, it hasn't worked. Emmerich on. Just couldn't get past Haswan there. It's gone for a corner, though. So another chance for the Warriors to create problems of this Balestier defence.
I don't think Emmerich on could believe how much space he'd found himself in. Onside, and then his touch took him inside and allowed the defence to close up. Well, they were delighted with the goal, and I'm sure they'll be pleased to keep a clean sheet so far, but otherwise I think the Warriors still not really clicking as a team at all.
Away is the call. I can't believe that behind the Warriors have they don't attack the ball as well as they should from set plays. Passed away in the end by Abdul Hadi. That's going to be the first yellow card of the game. It's a straight red. Oh my goodness. He can't quite believe it, and we can't believe it up here. Abdul Hadi has been shown a red card.
Well, we're obviously going to have a closer look at that one again, Paul. I must admit, when the challenge was made, I thought, oh, that's a bad one.
Did he kick out just afterwards? Let's have a look, because the referee was in a good position. He did blow the whistle straight away. He's thrown a punch just as they were going to ground. That's what it is, and the referee's spot on there. That's a very good decision. That's why he's gone straight for the red card. And I tell you what, hats off to Ahmad Hakwasa, because he saw that, and you cannot look to throw an arm or anything like that. It may have only been slight, Jamie, but the intent is there, and in the law and the rules of the game, if you show intent to injure another player by retaliation, it's a straight red card.
Well, I think Hadi will probably argue that as he was coming down, his hand moved in that direction. To be honest, it did look as if he was trying to clip his opponent. Referee was still looking at the incident at the time, and that explains why the red card was given, and what was looking a really difficult task for Balestier now looks an impossible mission.
Praise and credit to the referee for spotting that. Here come Balestier though. Hanafi fires it into the box, and again they've got more bodies forwards than they have in the whole first of that 40 minutes. There's a change coming now though, and it's going to have to be a sacrifice. Tajeli is the man that's going to come off. It's going to be Hanafi Saleh that comes on. No, they're going to lose that attacking intent and threat going forwards, but they've got to shore things up, which is why Hanafi's come in. You do feel that it could just be a question of time now.
I think certainly what Marco will be looking for is to get through to half-time at only 1 goal adrift and then reorganise the troops. Damage limitation could well be on the cards for the second half.
Ridwan, Emre Gong. It's Fedos. Shamalis just couldn't go with the ball on that occasion. Big strong challenge coming in there from Zulfadli. Well won from him. Jordan Webb. A little bit off the ball there. Keep your eye on this one. Huzaifa and Ridwan clashed. I just saw it out the corner of my eye on the right hand side, Jamie. Could be an interesting battle developing there. Shakir with a little bit of a miscontrol.
Well, you have to say, if Warriors can't keep a clean sheet tonight playing against 10 men who don't have a forward on the pitch, then really there must be something badly amiss.
Shaolishak. Sibamba felt that he was impeded, which is why he checked his run. Sabamba, flag stays down. Looked to get his cross in. That was a well-timed challenge there from Huzaifa. Not according to the referee, though. Certainly did look like a well-timed challenge.
It looked like a classic central defender's challenge, didn't it? I suppose the argument is following through. It's the intent. He gets the ball, but it's a reckless challenge. It's a little bit off the ground.
That's what it is. The feet were off the ground, but he timed that tackle to perfection, to be fair.
It's one of those tackles in the 60s, 70s, everyone goes, great challenge. But nowadays, I'm afraid things have moved the other way. Crucial not to concede again, obviously. Saiful Nizam trying to get everybody organised. I don't think the dead ball kicks from Shahar Ishak have been great in this first half. He's got two very obvious targets in there, should be able to hit them.
Well, Webb's in there. Sabamba, Fukuda, Bayaki. Bayaki's made the run to the near post. But there was a little nudge there, and the referee didn't like that, so has blown a whistle. Got to say, though, Jamie, really on the balance of play overall this first 45 minutes as we come up to the interval, Warriors have had more intent. They have looked the more likely, although it was just that 5-minute spell after that goal was scored from the Warriors where it could have been 2, 3, possibly 4, but they've lacked themselves in front of goal, having scored so many this season. Yeah,
it's difficult to understand, really. They've lacked intensity in going forward. They haven't really looked as if they're committed to scoring the extra goals, but they've certainly been the dominant force in the first half, and no question they deserve to be a goal to the good, maybe even more.
Balestier have a mountain to climb. If it was Mount Fuji before, it's now Mount Everest, because they're down to 10. No striker on the pitch, as Jamie has mentioned a little bit earlier. It's going to be very, very tough for them. So 1 minute of time added on at the end of the first 45. Could Balestier possibly nick one here right before half-time? Raihan looks for a little give and go. There was a nudge there. The referee not blowing for the free kick. Shahiro. He loses out. Bodies flying around all over the place at the moment. Fukuda picks up the ball, and if it's played quickly and wisely, Warriors have a man advantage here. Little no-look pass there from Feardos, forgetting that it's got to go to the intended target first. Hanafi doing well just to lay that one off. Hazwan was in there, but Bayaki was very comfortable with that header. That's the end of the 60 seconds. There's only a few seconds remaining before the referee will blow for the half-time whistle. Webb. Sabamba trying to feed it back into Webb. A little check of the watch says that that's going to be time, Jamie. And, well, it's going to be down to the Warriors to sort things out and get all 3 points in the second half.
Yeah, this fella's got his goal, Chibamba, and it looks a frustrated figure. I think he feels he should have been given more opportunities as the half wore on, but it's not to be.